Okay, this is my clarinet teaching assignment, and my student today is my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So, the first thing we're going to do is put the instrument together, and the first step of that is your reed.
Okay.
Now, what you're going to want to do is just hold, like, the top half of that reed in your mouth while we're putting the rest of the instrument together.
So, like, to where it's
Yeah,
beveled at?
there. Perfect. So that's just going to soak in your mouth while we're putting the rest of the instrument together. Now we start with the bottom of the instrument. This part is called the bell. And the bell is going to attach to this part. This is the bottom joint. And you can tell it's the bottom joint because it's got this little thingy on the back of it. That's called the thumb rest. Now, when we're putting the instrument together, we have this thing called cork grease. And what cork grease does is very self-explanatory. You open up the cork grease and you put it on the cork. See the little wooden part right there, before you stick the individual parts together. So that
Why
way,
is that?
So it goes together easier and it can get taken apart easier. So I'm going to let you put those two together. Make sure you get a good amount of cork grease on there. That's a good amount. Okay. Now you're going to attach your bell to the cork. Try not to force it. Try to be like real gentle with it. There you go. That's good. Now we're going to attach this part. This is the top joint. We're going to be attaching it by this. Now this is a bit more complicated. You see this little spot? That needs to line up with this little spot right under all of these keys. And when you're putting it together, you need to hold down this hole so the little lever comes up. And don't forget your cork grease. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got the barrel. Now the barrel itself doesn't have any cork for it. So you're going to put your cork grease on the top cork of the top joint. Now the barrel for this clarinet is a bit finicky. The way you know which end of the barrel goes on is the logo will be right side up. Yeah. Now the barrel on this clarinet is a bit temperamental. It tends to get stuck. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Perfect. Now, time for the last part, the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is the most important part. It comes in two parts, the mouthpiece and the ligature. Now the mouthpiece has a cork, so what do we do with the cork?
We grease it.
It gets the grease. Now the hole on the back of the mouthpiece should be like that. So it lines up with the back of the instrument. Let me see. Okay. The mouthpiece hole needs to line up with that key right there. Perfect. Now we're going to do the ligature, and this is where the reed comes in. So when people try to put together a clarinet, they're always tempted to put the reed on first and just slide the ligature on top of it. That's not what you're supposed to do. So you take the ligature, and you can see that part of it is wider than the other part. The wider part is the bottom of the ligature. And these two little screws should be on the back right there. And what we're going to do is raise the ligature up, gently get the reed in there, and you're going to make sure that the round part of the reed matches with the round part of the mouthpiece.
Okay.
Now you got to tighten your ligature with those little screws. And make sure not to get it too tight, just tight enough. Okay, I think that may be a bit too tight. There we go. Okay, so now we have put the clarinet together. I'm just gonna move the case out of the way for now. And now we're going to learn how to make a sound with it. So when you're playing the clarinet, you've got two parts of the mouth you need to worry about. The top part of your mouth and the bottom part of your mouth. The bottom part of the mouth is the hardest one to get down. So, with your bottom lip, you want it to curl, like that. You want it to curl over your teeth, and you want the little pink of your lip to be right on top of your teeth. Perfect. So, do that on the horn. Good. Now, when we're with the top jaw, you're just gonna put your teeth on top of the mouthpiece. Your teeth should be touching the mouthpiece. Good. Now, when you're playing it, you want a bit more of the mouthpiece in your mouth. You want, I'd say about 25%, like. Good. Try to make a note out of it. Okay, a bit more mouthpiece. A bit more. You're starting to get something. So, your bottom lip should be right about there. like so.
Okay.
The hardest part is getting the initial sound. Don't mess around with the keys just yet. Oh, I should probably tell you how to hold it. So, when we're holding it, your right thumb is going to be under the thumb rest like so. And your 3 fingers are going to be on top of these tone holes. And your pinky is going to do a lot of weird stuff with these keys right here. But we're not going to get to that. Now for the left hand, your thumb needs to be on this button right here.
Okay.
Don't close it just yet though. And your other 3 fingers are going to be right here. And your pinky's going to be doing a lot of nonsense around here. But once again, we're not getting to that in this lesson. Just going over the basics. Let me see. Okay, so you want the pads of your fingers to cover the holes. Yeah, like that. Same thing with the left hand. Good. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to take the mouthpiece off real quick. Yeah, you just hold that. We're going to try to get a sound with just the mouthpiece. So get the ligature back on. Like so. You see how much of the mouthpiece is in my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing right now is you don't have enough of it. You're like right here.
Okay. Okay.
What's your tongue doing right now?
My tongue is all over the place. I don't know what to do with my tongue.
So your tongue should be up near the roof of your mouth.
Okay.
There you go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, now the next thing that you're having trouble with is the angle. Right now you have it a bit too low.
Okay.
You want to have it at like 30, maybe a 40-degree angle. Like. Good.
Better?
Now, to lower the pitch, you're going to want to loosen the corners of your mouth. To raise the pitch, you're going to tighten them. So let's try to loosen up those corners a bit.
How do you do that?
It's kind of tricky to explain without the mouthpiece in your mouth, so... See how my mouth is now? I tighten up the corners. It's like you're doing a little bit of a goofy smile.
And that's to raise it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lowering the corners, it's kind of like a little frown. Try a bit more mouthpiece. Okay, tighten up those corners a bit. Here, let me see. No, it's not cracked. Okay, now your mouthpiece is too high. You need to find the sweet spot.
How do I know I found the sweet spot?
You get a sound out of it. So how are you blowing into the mouthpiece?
Just blowing air.
You really need to focus your air right at the tip of the mouthpiece. And what we're going to do next is articulation. So instead of just blowing, we're going to say ta into the mouthpiece, like. Ignore the pitch nonsense. You want when you say ta, you want the tip of your tongue to touch the reed. There you go. It's really good, Mom. Now, I'm going to put the mouthpiece back on the horn. And you are going to try to play your first notes. So, the first note that we're going to learn is G. G is none of these buttons or tone holes closed. The reed got askew. That's another thing. You got to make sure that the reed is perfectly in line. So the G should sound like. Now you try.
Okay, that goes there.
That goes there.
And I don't push any of those
You
down?
don't push anything yet. Just have your fingers hover over there until you need them. In fact, all we're doing today is in the left hand, so don't worry about your right hand. Just keep those fingers hovering. Heard it there for a second. Okay, so what I want you to do is stand up straight.
Stand up?
Yeah. Stand up, sit up. You just need to get your neck nice and straight. Get a good airflow going through it. Raise the horn up a bit. Bit more mouthpiece. I heard it there for a second. I'm hearing it there for some split seconds. So, just look at what I'm doing. My horn, when I'm playing with the clarinet, not just the mouthpiece, is at about a 20-30 degree angle right here. And when you're playing, you should kind of feel like you got a bit of an overbite going on.
Okay.
So So remember that 20 to 30 degree angle. A bit lower. There you go. Lower the horn a bit. So your pinky. There you go. There's that G. Practice playing that a few more times. Your pinky keeps wanting to cover up that hole. Your pinky needs to your pinky isn't over any of the holes. Your pinky just needs to chill out on these 3 keys right here.
Okay.
Same thing for your right pinky. One, 2, 3. Pinky's over here. All your fingers are just hovering over the holes right now. Okay, try raising the horn a bit. A bit more mouthpiece. I see that. You see the angle I got it at? Don't forget, you really want to keep your neck straight while you're playing this. Okay. You don't want to be... I feel like your mouth isn't tight enough. There you go. So what did you change to get that sound?
I tightened my mouth. I tightened my lips.
See. So do that again with the tightened lips. Okay, now. Good. Now the reason why you got that higher note was because your lips got too tight. The tighter the lips, the higher the pitch.
Gotcha.
You remember what I said? The corners get tight, the pitch goes higher. Same goes for your lips. We're always thinking about loosening the embouchure. The embouchure is the whole mouth as we get lower, and tightening it when we get higher. Tighter, but not tense.
Gotcha. Okay,
so you figured out the D. Now we're going, not the D, the G. Now we're going to learn the next note, which is F. F is the same thing as G, but this time you're going to hold down the left thumb.
Okay. But nothing down here?
Nothing down here. Nothing in the right hand today. It's all left hand. We're left-handed for today. Horn a bit. There you go. See, now you're getting the hang of it. Good. You're learning this real quick, Mom. Now, the next note is E. E, you're going to keep holding your thumb down. Then you're going to hold down your pointer finger right here. So it should be like... just thumb and pointer. It's like you're pinching it. The other fingers aren't doing anything yet. Good. Now, going to try to move down pitches. So
It takes a lot out of your abdomen.
It does. It takes a lot of air. So we're going to start with the open G we learned first. And then we're going to move down to the F. So it's just going to be... Can you try that?
We'll see.
It's just the thumb right now. And your left hand is doing all the work.
So we're doing the G, which was nothing,
Yes,
right?
nothing.
Okay.
You're good. There you go. Now try moving the thumb. Good.
I ran out of breath.
Don't forget to breathe. So now we're going to try going from the G to the F to the E. So... remember, thumb, then pointer.
Okay. I had it for a second.
You did have it for a second.
Okay, I'm going to try again.
Try it again. Good. It's really good, Mom. Now, the second to last note we're going to learn today is the D. The D is the same thing as E, but you're doing your middle finger down with it. So it's thumb, pointer, middle. This is going to be lower than all the other ones that we've learned so far. So remember to loosen. Loosen not a lot, just a little. last note. There you go. There's the low C.
Woo!
See, I didn't even have to teach you that one. You figured it out on your own. So now we're going to try to go G, F, E, D, C. You think you can do that?
I don't know. I might squeak a lot.
That's okay. You're learning. Trust me, professionals squeak a lot too. I have to listen to them.
I lost it somewhere.
So what's happening is you're not getting all of the pad of your finger onto the finger holes, and what's that's doing is it's letting a tiny amount of air escape through the crack between the finger and the hole, and that's why you're not getting the pitch to sound.
Okay.
We call those micro vents. Good job, Mom. You did it.
Yay!
That's all the playing we're doing today.
Okay.
So now we're going to take the instrument apart.
So is it basically just the reverse of what we did?
Basically just the reverse, yes.
Okay.
So you're going to take the ligature off. You're going to put the reed back in that reed case on the stand right there. Now the reason we keep them in the reed case is because if we don't, they'll dry out and get cracked and basically be unplayable. And nobody wants that.
Do I need to do?
Yeah. Now, this clarinet is a bit annoying when taking it apart. Oh, and one more thing. This is your cleaning swab.
Okay.
With every part of the clarinet you take apart, you just stick the cleaning swab in, comes out the other side, and you pull it all the way through. Now, if we were professional musicians, we wouldn't do that with the mouthpiece. But we're not professional musicians, so...
I'm not a professional musician.
We're not professional clarinetists. The barrel... Oh, you got the barrel off just fine. The barrel usually gives me some trouble. I don't know, maybe it just likes you.
Maybe.
And when we're taking apart this top joint, don't forget we're holding down this button.
Okay. It's still got water in it.
Run the cleaning swab through one more time. Yeah, that's good. Next joint, don't forget to hold the button down. Now for next time when you're taking the horn apart, make sure that you're twisting it the other way.
Oh, okay.
Because what was happening was this almost got
Hooked under there.
hooked under there.
I gotta use the cleaning spray.
There's a lot of sensitive stuff in that area that we don't want getting messed up. Where did we put the cork grease? Thank you. Found the cap, but I didn't find the grease.
What if it won't go through?
It's a bit harder to get that one through. If it won't go through, just try putting it through the other end. There you go. Now the reason we don't want all those pinky keys jamming together is because they're very sensitive and can break really easily. So now you disconnect those two. It may be a bit tough. When you're taking it apart, try to not grip it by all of this stuff.
So I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah. Here, let me try. There we go.
Glad I didn't break it. That
I'm
would
glad that neither of us have broken it.
my tuition dollars would have increased.
There's been a lot of broken clarinets. And you figured out how to put it all back in without me having to tell you. So good lesson today. Did a real good job.
Thank you, honey.
And that is my teaching assignment.